911, what's your emergency?
There's been a crash outside the school.
Outside the high school?
Yeah, outside the high school.
Do you know if
we need an ambulance here.
Okay, head to 1SL. Information, TC in the area of Etna High School reported to be injuries.
So Etna 1 copy, code 3 from Maine and Collier.
Code 3 from Maine. Call 4 copy from approximately 2 miles south of Etna area. Head to 1SL. Information, CHP has been requested and medical is being dispatched.
Etna 1 to 97 with injuries.
Appears to be 2 vehicles. And
Look, 1, if you can respond to Etna High School for a traffic accident with a fatality.
I chose to do this because I've seen the previous one that we did a couple years before, and the impact that that had on some of the other kids just made me realize that this is something that needs to be done and to help my peers, because I've been around a lot of them and I know what they do, and I'm hoping that doing this will maybe make a couple of them change their minds and make some smarter decisions in the future.
She's breathing. Bob, this is patient 1.
I'm a paramedic with an ambulance, and I teach emergency medical services classes for the college. And Andrea was my student in EMT class, and I was her mentor for her senior project. So I was just helping her plan this event.
We've got 1 here, 2 in the vehicle here. I don't know what was in this vehicle right here.
So we don't know who was driving?
We don't know. We do not know.
My involvement was setting up and coordinating the entire program. I had to contact all the EMS services and pick kids out, coordinate the assembly, coordinate the funeral, pretty much just run almost the entire thing.
1, 2, 3.
I was actually the incident commander on scene, and we kind of planned how it was going to go so that we could sort of tell a story for the kids. Basically, we tried to treat this just like a real accident that we'd come on. Of course, we already knew coming in what we were looking at because we had planned what the accident was intended to look like. But what we wanted to do was treat it just like we would treat an actual accident.
Can you breathe?
My initial thoughts at that point were in work mode and, very serious, and pulling up to an accident, just looking for the incident commander to figure out, where I needed to be and how many patients there might be.
Remember what happened? Do you know what happened? Did you ask her, Danny? She doesn't remember. This patient's going on the vent at 5-6.
It was like way more real than I thought it would be. Like once we moved up close and I could like see Devin's body and all my friends getting pulled out, it was really hard to watch.
Yes, very realistic.
My friends came up to me and they were like, it's so weird not talking to you and seeing you down there crying and not being able to like come console you.
There were a number of the students that I saw actually crying as we were taking some of their friends out of the vehicles and as we were covering up the victim that was intended to be dead.
My involvement was to be dead on arrival and get placed in a body bag and go to the morgue and have my mom and my dad identify me.
There was an accident today. Okay. Devin was involved in it. Okay. He didn't make it.
Okay.
There was 2 vehicles involved and he was deceased at scene. Basically what's happened is he's been transported from McGruner's. We would like you to be able to go over there and do an identification for us, if you can do that.
My mom was the worst one. it was weird that she had to stand there right above me and identify her son's body, which I'm pretty sure no parent wants to do, but it was kind of hard, so. just weird. I wouldn't want to be in their position if I had a kid.
My involvement on this particular event today was I was the arresting officer for the collision.
Been drinking today? What time?
We started a couple hours ago.
A couple hours ago? How much did you have? Just a couple?
Handled the investigation of the collision, found out one of the drivers involved was under the influence, did the arrest on scene, put him in a patrol vehicle and took him down to the hospital for a blood test, which is required. And then from that point we took him down to the jail and we took him inside where he gets to spend a lot of his time.
Stand up against the wall, put your hands on the wall for me. Please stand up straight. Lower your arms to your sides. Wrist down. All right, when you go to court, I want you to talk to anyone. The only person you should be talking to is the judge or your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock at the high school gymnasium, they will be doing a mock funeral. That will be probably every bit as dramatic as what you saw out here today. It'll be dramatic in a very different way, but it's an equally important part of what happens in a drunk driving incident.
Thank you for coming this morning to our every 15-minute program. And the reason behind it is to bring awareness to parents, the community, kids, as far as the effects of alcohol and driving. The effect of this mock collision is just a little portion of the problem we have with underage drinking.
I'm the man. I'm about 32 years old. I live in the valley. I had a good job doing concrete and carpentry. I was an avid snowboarder, bodybuilder, ultimate fighter, mountain biker, and on a softball and bowling team. Now here's a little story about I trained for ultimate fighting for about 3 years, pretty religiously, and then so finally got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm ready, I'm gonna compete. So I went down to Reno, Nevada, and signed up to compete. And about 4 days before my match, this accident happened, and all those years of training and special thoughts and stuff were just kind of gone because I chose to drink and drive. My outlook was bleak. I had to learn everything all over again. My speech and my balance are my worst problems right now. I had to go to speech therapy to even get this far. I thought I could do it all, and I had this great life, and within a few seconds it was gone. I'll never be that guy again. I figure my motto is, you play, you pay.
Sometimes our choices affect us directly, and sometimes our choices affect people around us and our family members.
Hi, my name is Jim Foster. I want to tell you what happened to my daughter on September 14th, year 2000. This is the van that she was in when they crashed. They went through a barbed wire fence, went out in the field, came back up on the road, in the ditch, airborne, nosedived, the van rolled. Now, some believe that my daughter went through the top of the windshield and the van rolled on top of her because she sustained head trauma really bad. Her head was really swollen bad. What happened was, you have a stem in the back of your neck that pushed down and cut the blood to her brain. It was on the 4th day and we pronounced her dead on the 18th at 10 o'clock in the morning. They didn't want to pronounce her dead on the 16th of her birthday. Stay away from that stuff. You'll end up like my daughter, 6 feet in the ground. No 16th birthday, no future, no nothing. You're just dead.
We had such high hopes for you and so wanted to see you achieve your dreams of becoming what you wanted. We always told you that if you needed a ride to call, it didn't matter what time, and we promised you'd never drink and drive. And now it's too late for that phone call. The star that could have been is no more. You always said the decisions you make now will affect you for the rest of your life, no matter how big or how small. In this case, it has affected the people that are left behind, the ones you loved and the people who loved you. It pains me to know that the selfish act of choosing to drink and drive took you away and never to come back to us, and leaves us all asking one question: was it really worth it?
You do have an opportunity, because what happened yesterday was just an exercise. And the things that you experienced, the feelings that you experienced, I'm challenging you up here today to be an example. Take what you experienced and share it with the others. I'm hoping, and I'm hoping and praying that that these kids realize this is just a small portion of what alcohol related to teens does.
I suspect that it will have the effect of perhaps making them think a little more, which is our intention, is to just try and get them to think about the choices that they're making.
I'll be honest with you, like I like partying and stuff, but like now it's kind of like open, or it shows me how easy it could be to die that quick.
I never want to ever let anyone do that. I don't want to be in it, and I don't want to let one of my friends be in it, because if it's that horrible and it's not even real and I know it's not real, I don't want to even know what it would be like if it actually happened to us.
We talk about drunk driving, and you hear the people say an accident. It's not an accident. It's a traffic collision. When you drink, you know the repercussions. You know what can happen. An accident is something that's an unplanned event, and when you drink and drive, it's not an accident. It's a choice that you make. It's a choice that you go out and do, even though the events don't happen like you planned, and the consequences are really strong.
A lot of them came up and thanked me, and that was really awesome to know that it really did impact them, and I think I saw in a lot of their faces that they're going to be changing the ways they've been acting.